So when it comes to, manifesting as a mother, what would you really, or what would one of the biggest lessons you learned manifesting, but then also having another child to take care of?
Start saying that and start saying, I'm so happy my stomach is flat, I have six pack. Not take whatever silent voice there is, very soft. Take those actions because those actions want to take you. If you've thought of that, it already exists. And if it exists, it is your responsibility to find a way to let it come into reality. You have it already. And just watch circumstances, people, situations start coming around to bring that desire to you. Any era, write a list and write down everything what you do not like. Then want is coming from a place that you don't have it. That's a lack.
The 9 to 5 job is interesting because it does a really good job of keeping you trapped, right? They don't want to improve. They don't want to make things more efficient.
Being born from Jamaica and a single mom through my mom, I grew up as whatever you need to attire to get, you have to really, really work hard for it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Transformation to Expansion. My name is LaJaw Bradley, and we have a very, very, very special guest today. Her name is Jacqueline Younglandi. She was born in Jamaica of a single mother and moved to the United States in 1995. She is a married mother of one, a grandma of four, and top 100 best-selling author on Amazon, and a master creator of her desires in image, wellness, and lifestyle. Her business is in empowering women to be their authentic self and to express who they are through style. Please welcome to the show, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Good, of course. Yeah. And I'm just really thankful that you're here on the show and to share the story with our audience and share your transformation story that I was kind of brought to through one of the women's groups that I'm part of. And I'm just very thankful that I came across your story because I had resonated with it so much. And so, I always ask my guests, what is your transformation story when it comes to, where you were maybe a couple years ago, maybe even a couple months ago, to where you are now?
Being born from Jamaica and a single mom through my mom, I grew up as whatever you need to attire to get, you have to really, really work hard for it. And then I moved here to in 1995 when I was 31 because I had a business there and everything. But life got threatened there, so I moved here. I said maybe it'd be better here, and the weather was similar. But the working hard, I couldn't do it anymore. I said there must be a better way. And I came across Tasha Chen, and she was all about easy and relaxed. I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to be easy and relaxed, but I want to make money because I love nice stuff. I love a lavish lifestyle. I love to help people. So I decided to dive into myself, change all the limited beliefs that I had about how you have to work hard, but how to create the life you desire. And that's what I did.
That's beautiful. And so can you tell us, so what were some of the things that you were doing before you were part of the Tasha Chen Women's Circle? Like that.
I had a business back in Jamaica. We made custom garments for men, women, and children. I had 6 workers. I was very structured. Get up at a certain time. You got dressed. My business was in my home. I had a addition to back of my home, and I would dress as if I was going to work. I would walk through the front door and I could just walk through the house. I'd go over there, but I'd pretend as if I was going to work every day. So I was dressed to kill because I love clothes. And then I would, prepare the work. And then my workers come in at 9. That we work until 5. And then I see, they go home. I see, fitting or they're picking up from a certain time. And I had karate. I was very, very, very structured. And yes, I did make money, lots of money, but it was just too much. I felt I was doing too much.
Mm.
I felt overwhelmed. I felt at a point I felt I didn't like doing it anymore. And then my life was threatened. So I decided to move to the United States because I was already developing clientele here. And then when I moved, everything shifted because I didn't have my workers. So I had to do everything on my own. So it was like a one-man show. And then it was like really, really hard. And I really, really didn't like it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a baby. So then I became a single mom for like how many years, and it was just too much. I said, you know what, I'm not going to do sewing anymore. I'm just going back to work, do a 9 to 5 job. So that's what I did. And of course, that's not my true self.
Mm.
And then I came across Tesha, and she taught me how to create my heart desires. And I listed and I started that, and that's where I'm now.
Can you talk about that real quick? So you went back to a 9 to 5 because you were just overwhelmed with the entrepreneur lifestyle. And I don't want to say lifestyle, right? Because I don't think it's like a true representation of the entrepreneurial lifestyle, but maybe a way we're programmed to think about what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? This is one of the things that I've talked to other cousins who are entrepreneurs, and they're like, you never have a day off. And I'm like, no. It's because you built a system where you don't have a day off, right? But anyway, so there was a point where you kind of were like, I'm done with this, let me do a 9 to 5. And then you found that it wasn't in alignment with you. Can you just talk about that? Like, what was it about going back to the 9 to 5, and what really happened in that moment where you were like, this is not where I'm supposed to be?
First, the pay. I was paying like really, really low compared to what I was used to. And I had bosses over me. I wasn't my boss anymore. So I couldn't dictate my time I want to work. I couldn't dictate people I want to serve. I wasn't the boss anymore. I had to follow their rules. And that's not in line with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's understandable. That's understandable. I mean, especially when you're coming from a space where you made your own hours, you did the things that you loved, even if it was a lot, you still were able to have these moments at least where you're like, I'm doing what I love, I'm doing what I enjoy. And then you're getting paid a lot for it. And then going to this space where I'm getting underpaid. I don't enjoy my work. And then these people, I don't feel like they're doing the job correctly either. Like, I feel like there's a better way of doing this. And I feel like,
you got that right.
yeah. Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues with the 9 to 5. I think the 9 to 5 the 9 to 5 job is interesting because it does a really good job of keeping you trapped, right? They don't want to improve. They don't want to make things more efficient. They don't want to make things, and not every, but most. They don't want to like level it up, right? Because they want to keep you trapped in that way of living. Like, can you tell us about the moment where you were like, I quit, I'm done with this. This was not the right move. Can you just tell us like kind of what happened leading up to that, and then even what the epiphany was?
When I quit, I didn't really quit. I was pregnant, so I had to go have my baby. So I had my last work was the Friday, and I had my baby the Monday. And then I decided, I was still doing, dabbling a little bit, sewing at my home. So I decided, I want to be with my daughter. I don't want to go back to work, and I have to find a way to do what I love and still have time and freedom with my daughter and make the money I want to do. And I just didn't go back to work.
Okay, beautiful. So, you're at the point where you're like, okay, I'm not going back to work. This isn't for me. And then especially if you're pregnant too, that's one thing I feel like in America we do, I don't want to say we, but the system does a really poor job of is really protecting women who are pregnant. This is like a really vital time, not just for the mother, but also for the baby too. I've done astrology readings where you can actually see in a person's chart if something happened during pregnancy that happened to the mother, and it's really crazy, but people don't think about this, but it really does affect both the mother and the child. So I mean, I think it's amazing that you were able to kind of recognize that, you're pregnant, which I'm sure the emotions were all over the place. So that's one thing. But it's really empowering to hear that you were like, you know what, I need to do what's best for me and this baby, and it's not this job. So at that point, did you automatically go back to your entrepreneur? Did you start a new business? What was like going on during that time?
Well, at that time, I already moved from Jamaica, so I had some money saved up because I had a business there. So I had some money saved up so I could, carry myself and still do some sewing on the side to sustain myself to live. And then I was living down in Fort Lauderdale, and it was really like a busy city compared to what I'm used to back home. Home is like more relaxed. Yeah, island time. You relax. You make money, but it's more relaxed. It's not like hustle, 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 and push, 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 and fight, 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 and traffic, traffic. It's not like that. So I decided I wanted to move to a more quiet place, which I moved north, which was in Port St. Lucie, and I rented out my house down there. And I had rental properties back in Jamaica, so I still could live, but I wanted something to do what I really enjoy to do. So when I bought a property out there in Port St. Lucie, and lived here, and that's how I started. And I was still doing the thing on my own because what I found is sewing is a dying art in the United States. Nobody's replacing us. All the seamstresses are really older, in the 80s and 90s. They're really older. I'm going to be 60 and I'm retiring soon in the aspect of sewing. But I couldn't find anybody to help me sew. So I said, I can't do this on my own. This is crazy. And I went online to see if I could find a job that is similar to what I like to do. And there was a position here in Stewart. They wanted somebody to do alterations, which is not what I usually do. I do custom stuff, designing, make stuff from scratch. Alterations is just hemming up, shortening, taking in, letting know. That's what alteration is. So I applied and I met with the boss. So I went to drop off my application, and so often that the owner was there and interviewed me. And before I could cross the bridge, the manager called me and said, "You're hired." And I've been with them since 1995, and I'm still with them.
Wow. Oh my God. It's like 30 years. That's really incredible though. I don't think I've ever met anybody who had like a long-lasting relationship with a client like that. Um, what was it that allowed you to keep that relationship with them?
Well, the owner said he was very impressed because, being from Jamaica, we dress when we are going function. It's different from Florida. Florida is casual, they have on sneakers and tracks, it's very a different atmosphere because more beachy stuff. But being a Jamaican, as my book says, I dedicated my book to my great grandma. She taught me to sew when I was 5 years old. She's always said to me, "Put a mirror at your front door, Jackie. And when you leave in your home, check yourself out. And if you can't sit and have tea with the queen, go back and change." So she was always telling me, not just your outer appearance, but when you dress, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. So I'm always in my back of my mind that I have to dress before I leave the house. So when I came for the interview, I was dressed like I was going to a corporate office. And he told me he was very impressed about that. And when he saw my resume, he was impressed about that. But anyway, I developed a lot of, because it's not like a salary job, it's commission. So the clientele that come in through him, they just fell in love with me, they fell in love with my work. So over the years, I did not just one store, I did 2 stores, and I did 3 stores. So I was spreading my time for 3 stores because he has like 7 stores in this area.
I know today's guest has you filled with questions, but don't worry. You're going to have a chance to sit in this seat on August 15th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have our first live Q&A where you get to ask the questions to a previous guest. Make sure to click on the notification bell, subscribe to the YouTube channel so y'all can be the first to know, because it's going to be first come, first serve. Okay? I'll see y'all there. Peace. I love that you said the way you dress. That is so important. Look, I'm gonna be honest. The jobs that I didn't care about, I didn't care how I dressed. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. I did not care. I wore hoodie and some sweatpants because I was like, I don't care about this. But it's really important to know that you never know who you're gonna run into. You never know.
Yep.
So it's like you really want to make sure that you're always dressed. So yeah, you're dressed to impress, right? And to really impress like the people who you want to be in alignment with, right? So I think
Yep. Yep.
in this, yeah, in this situation, you had more of a professional contract with this business. And I'm guessing, is it wedding alterations?
No, it's alteration of anything,
Oh,
men, women, children, anything. Not especially
oh,
women. Yeah, any kind of alterations. Because I did tailoring when I was in school, and I did fashion design on it. So I can do both men and women clothes.
wow. Okay, cool. Okay, right. Yeah, because I forget men, yeah, they wear business suits. And so they have to get that out. I'm sorry, I'm like,
Button sleeve, take your
oh,
jacket out, hem up
right,
here, let waist out, take waist in.
right. It's funny because I think it's yeah, I mean, just me personally, I've always just kind of steered away from corporate America because I don't, it's toxic in my opinion. But anyway, we ain't gonna get into it. But my point is, you dressed for, the kind of job that you wanted to attract, right?
Yeah.
If you're a yoga teacher, okay, yeah, then maybe you can get away with wearing the yoga pants and
Yes.
the little chakra shirt,
Yep.
like, because that's what you want to attract in life, right?
Yep.
But in your case, you're like, no, I want a professional contract. And then I think that's something to note too. I think also the way you dressed separated you from maybe all of the other people that he had interviewed too, or that he had met in this journey, right? Um, and that's the other thing you want to do. You want to stand out. You don't just want to,
Blend
wear
it.
right. So it's super important to do that. Okay, cool. So I love that you had these kind of, yeah, it wasn't like maybe the fun stuff, right? But it was like, no, I need to make money. I want to continue to be my own business, my own business person. I still want to be an entrepreneur. I still want to have my own business. So, okay, you know what? I'll do the alterations for now, I'm guessing is what, you probably told yourself. Um, and so then how did you start to move into more fashion? Because that's something that I've seen some of the work that you've done. You do a lot of like money clothing, and that's something that like I've never seen before. What like kind of brought you to tapping into that more fashionable aspect of being a seamstress?
Well, that's what I learned back when I was 18 years old. When I went to college, I did fashion designing, pattern making, clothes construction. That's what I did. But here in where I live, Stuart, it's more. It's not custom stuff here. You're not making stuff from scratch. It's more alterations, taking in stuff. A lot of corporate people, lawyers, whatever, taking in stuff, let out stuff. That's what it is. But for me, I love that, and I make great money in that. But at this age of 60, which is approaching retirement, and I still love my money because I have my grandbabies now, my grandbabies. Um, I've transitioned into styling, meaning help people, help women, especially over 45, to find out what their fashion personality is. Because you have different fashion personalities. For me, it's outlandish. I'm way out there. I love way out there stuff. I'm bold.
Mm-hmm.
That's my authentic self. You have people who are conservative, you have people who are comfy, you have people who are trendy, you have people who are sexy. You have different fashion personality type. And of course, you have different body types. You have rectangular, you have triangle, you have the pear shape, you have upside down, you have all different kind of body types. But once you know your true fashion personality type that matches your body type, there's nothing you cannot put on and feel confident in. And when you're confident, your true authentic self shine. And of course, you take yourself out of the equation. Now you can serve others, be your best to everyone. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's really important. I think for both men and women,
Mhm.
what you wear, you want, yeah, I love that you put it. You what you wear needs to reflect you. It needs to reflect like your personality. Um, and I love that by tapping into your personality, aligning it with what you're wearing in your wardrobe, you can really start to shine. And I really love that concept, and what you do. And I really want to talk about confidence real quick too, because one of the things that, I guess I've experienced with my body type is I was always scared because I'm very like straight
Can't the
now.
girlfriend.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah, I was like, I want my curves. Like,
teeny waist.
yeah, yeah. And I think it will come when I'm older, probably. But because that's what I've been told. My friend, I think she told me she's like, I was the same as like you. And then she's like, when I hit 30, bam, hips, everything. She was just like, okay, well, um, but yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe it'll just hit me later. But anyway, so one thing I was always scared of when I was younger, which was so stupid too, because when you like, I think this happens when you're older, when you look back, you're like, why was I scared of that? You know why? There's no reason. But one of the things I was scared of was wearing like really tight clothing, because I was like, oh, I'm not curvy, so whatever, which was so stupid because it was not true. But anyway, so one thing that I did now and that kind of helped me wear different kind of clothing that gave me more confidence was I would go into like stores and I would try on those dresses that I would never wear outside. And then I would like look at myself in the mirror and I would like embrace it and maybe even take a photo, just to like get myself to see how beautiful I am in something that, I guess previously I thought I couldn't wear. So can you talk about that real quick? Can you just talk about, how to gain confidence in wearing clothes that maybe previously somebody would have been like, oh, I can't wear that.
Well, I, I get a question all the time. I have customers come in and tell me what is wearing, and I'm like, no, we're not going by what's wearing. We're not going by what the world is wearing because everybody's totally different. We're totally different people. But the confidence comes when if, for instance, you're rectangular and you want to wear something sexy and tight. But if you add some pockets to the sides on a garment, it gives you a little bit more hips. So it's give it the illusion that you have a sexy
Mm-hmm.
curve shape. When you know that, what addresses your body type, then you can go shopping with confidence. You can dress with confidence because this is going to address this because this is how you want to feel. This is going to address this because this is how you want to look. So once you know those basics about what can camouflage or accentuate whatever you desire, because that's your fashion personality type, your confidence come out. It's
Yeah,
anything.
that's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it's in my opinion, it's genius. Because
Some
I
pockets
haven't
on
heard anybody talk about
pockets,
that.
some pockets on the back or on the side to get curve you out more. But
Yeah,
don't even, sometimes too, you don't even, people get their worth from what people say about them. And you you have to take some time to know who you really are. And then when you really know who you really are, there's nothing that no one can say to bring your confidence down.
And how do you get people to get to that space where they know deep down who they are and when they're really, how they're ready to embrace it?
Well, I have a link that really asks questions on, your looks, your image, questions on your wellness, and questions on your lifestyle, and whatever you want to address first. If you want to address your image, or you want to address your wellness, or you want to address your lifestyle, which I think you should address your wellness first, your mind, body, and soul, before you can address the outer. And when you do that, then you can build, because it's not just the exterior on how you look. You're working on your mind, you're really working on you. You're deep diving on you first before you can really look. Because image is just the exterior. It's fashion comes and go. But when you know who you really are, there's nothing. You can put on a bag of a paper bag and still look good, because you know who you are. Because your confidence is not what you've seen out. Your confidence is who you are.
I love that. Okay. So it's more about tapping into, yeah, who you are, and tapping into that confidence of knowing you and knowing, like, not just your personality, but like what you're here to do, your purpose, or like what you align to, what you are passionate about. How did you figure out this, there was a need for this?
Well, everything's out to me. What I'm doing is what I've learned through my whole journey. And I found that when I went through a spiritual journey. I even went to Dubai for a whole month. But what I found is that when you really work on you first, and you put everything into you first, because you cannot get what's the word? You can't get your self-worth from outside. It has to come from within. And when you put the effort, I have a me time in my calendar every morning. I'm in my dressing room, and it's me time, and my husband know, and the dogs, everybody know, don't bother me. It's me time. So you have to take time. You have to put yourself on the calendar, just like your ear appointment, your nail appointment. You have to put yourself on that calendar and work on you and find out who you are. And if you don't like what you are experiencing, change it. Change, redirect what your thoughts are, because what we are really what we've been thinking in the past. And if you're not liking it now, we got to change what we're thinking to move forward.
For people who are listening who they don't like where they're at right now, what's something else you would help them, not you would, yeah, what's something else you would help them kind of realize? Let's say they're kind of in that stuck energy, right? They're experiencing the same things over and over and over again. Is it just connected to the thoughts, or is there something more to it?
If you don't like, I would say write a list in your image, in your relationships, in any area. Write a list and write down everything what you do not like. Then beside it, write what you desire. Not what you want, what you desire, because want is coming from a place that you don't have it. That's a lack. You want to come from a place of desire, knowing and believing. Write down your desires and start thinking, affirming all those desires, and change that limit beliefs of the things that you don't like to what you desire, and start from there. In any categories of your life, in relationships, in your image, in your wellness, in your finance, any area. It works for any area.
Okay, so you're saying so yeah, so write down the things that you don't like, um, that's going
Switch.
on in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, start to focus on what you desire. And I love that you made that distinction too, because people are like, no, what do I want? What do I want? And I think for me, when you tap into what you want, it might not necessarily be what's in alignment with your heart, right? Because when you desire something, you really feel it, right? It's like you desire it. It's like it's like the difference between when you're doing a job that you're like, okay, I'm doing this job, and then you're doing a job that you're passionate about. You can actually feel your heart light up and be like, no, I'm excited about this. I love this.
Yeah.
Um, and so you can use that as a compass, right? But you want to get rid of that word want, because like you said, it's coming from a space of lack. Whereas desire is like it really
Like
connects
a
you.
knowing,
Hmm?
it's like a knowing, you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's just intuitive knowing, right? So when we start to desire something, we can really kind of tap into our heart space, which I know a lot of people struggle with. That was one of the things that I struggled with a couple years ago when I was, going on to my spiritual journey. I was like, how do I live from my heart? I was like, how do I do this? Like, I remember my friend was like, oh, it's easy. You just, you just live, follow your heart. And I'm like, how? It's like you spent so many years not doing that.
Yeah.
So a lot of us are
Oh
lost
yeah.
in this aspect. So I love that you kind of put that. And then the other thing you said was redirect your thoughts. Can you just expand upon that right real quick? Like, what do you mean by redirecting your thoughts?
Start saying that and start saying, I'm so happy my stomach is flat, I have six pack. Not begging, saying you know that it's there, although you don't see it. You just get delusional. You understand? But you start saying these things. And when you start saying these things, positive things of who you are, the actions start coming, the circumstances coming, the people come in your life to bring your heart desires to you. But if you keep saying, I don't like this, I don't want this, you're going to get more of that. You have to redirect your thoughts on what you want, not what you want, what you desire, and start speaking it and start thinking it and start being, as I say, delusional that you have it already. And just watch circumstances, people, situations start coming around to bring that desire to you.
How does one recognize when a situation or something that is in alignment with them has appeared in their life?
I recognize it by it's not going to be like shout loud. It's going to be so faint. And when it comes for me, I stop what I'm doing and follow through. If a thought comes to my mind to call somebody, or thoughts that come to my mind to send a text or send a message, I stop whatever I'm doing at that moment and do it, because I call them my angels. They're always telling me things, and they're not going to be knocking on, Jackie, listen. They're not going to do that. They're going to be so faint because they're not pushing on you. They're just reminding you of your desires. So when a thing comes to my mind, I just stop what I'm doing and follow through.
And what does that sound like to you? So when the thought or so is it random? Is it I don't want to put this, is it like really quiet? Like how do you recognize the difference between a thought that's in alignment or a message that is in alignment versus your ego?
It's a thought for me that comes to my mind, or a soft voice, and it makes my heart sing. And I feel so happy. Even I don't even know how it's gonna work out, but I feel so happy, and I just, what, okay, time to do what I need to do, and I just stop what I'm doing and just get it done. And send that text, make that call, write something down, something. I don't even know it comes. It just whatever it comes to me, I stop what I'm doing and just follow through.
So stop what you're doing and follow through. I like that. You're like, don't think about it. Don't try to distract yourself. Don't write it down. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't write it down for later. You straight up be like, no, we gonna do it now. Following your heart's desires allowed you to kind of attract what you wanted into your life. Did it take trial and error to get to that point? And if so, like what were some of the things that you had to kind of realize to get there?
It does, because you're still not sure. You're still questioning your mind. You're still questioning yourself. And the thing is, you do not lean on your understanding. If you've thought of that, it already exists. And if it exists, it is your responsibility to find a way to let it come into reality. And sometimes you think it's going to go this way, this way, this way, this way, and it's never that way. So that's the trial and error. But if you just listen and keep in positive and high vibes, because you have different vibes, you can vibe at high vibe, but at a low vibe, meaning love is the high vibe. But if you're not showing that love really high, you're going to manifest that low vibe. So you have to keep, I stick to the kindness, love, patience, all those. Keep to that. I try. So I have some customers that right. Woo!
Of course.
I keep to that. I try keep to that, and then just follow through, because there's no wrong or right way of doing it. You just have to go with your gut feeling. Go with your gut feeling, and if it feels good, that's it.
I love it. It's so simple. It's so simple, but we complicate it. We can definitely complicate it. Once you tap into that energy, you start to really leap into the lifestyle that you want, starting to, follow your heart and align with your heart. What were some of the things that you kind of intended to happen, and then what actually happened?
I start journaling on my heart desires. I start journaling every day, and some people say I've questioned about why you say the same thing over and over, but you're not really saying the same thing over, you're just affirming what you desire. So I could journal the same thing every day, but I journal what my heart says, and I truly believe that if it's in your thought, it's already exists. So if it's already exists, how can I get it? And if I desire it, then I need to be in alignment with my energy to receive it. And for me, I just keep positive. I journal, I meditate, I go walking, I go around and be grateful of the trees and the sand and the beach. I just try to be in a positive energy. And when things just come to me, for instance, the other day, my husband, we go Sunday for brunch downtown, and he's always like, it takes so long I take 30 minutes to get ready. I do my makeup, I shower, put on my clothes. But he thinks it's way too long. Mm-hmm. So he said, oh, we're going to be late, and we're not going to have it. Because the town is snowbird town, so it's packed during snow season. We're not going to have any parking space, but don't ruffle my energy. This parking space is going to be right there. Don't ruffle it. And I kid you not, every Sunday we have this argument, and every time the parking space is right there waiting for me. So sometimes you just have to cut out the negative chatter around you and just keep yourself focused on your heart desire. Cut him out. Delusional, put on blinders or something, and it will happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen when you want, like now, but the more aligned and the more energy, your energies are aligned with what you desire, it will come faster. So meditate, I journal, I walk in nature, I'm grateful, gratitude, grateful about everything. I'm happy. I keep my energy really happy because anytime I see I'm going over into anger and frustration and complaining, I'm like, oh, that's not the one. That's not it. That's not it. I'm going in a different spectrum right there. And if I go over there, I attract more of that because what you really focus on expands.
Get started on your wellness journey today. Whether you are starting your wellness journey in the middle of it or finishing it, this library will help you so much on how to jumpstart your wellness. And really, it has so much more than that. It has full guides on how to quantum leap, full guides on how to manifest, and even my personal favorite, coloring books. Yes, and I'm talking unique coloring books. Y'all already know who you're dealing with, okay? We have baobab coloring books, cactus plant coloring books, and so much more. And it's completely free. So please make sure to check it out, especially if you're on your wellness journey, or if you know a friend who is on the wellness journey and wants some free resources, please let them know about the wellness library, okay? The link is in the show notes below. I love y'all so much. Let's get back to the show. I mean, that's what happens. It's like attention. I always like tell people attention, intention. You need to put attention on what you want more of in your life. And then you have to intend for something to happen, right? You wanted that parking space, you intended. You were like, no, we're gonna have that parking space. There's no other option. There's no other reality. Right? It's like that parking space is gonna be there. And every time it is, you intended it, right? And you put your awareness on that. But I think part of this journey too of being in that space where everything is coming to you, you're attracting everything that you need and that you desire. Part of the I won't say the contract, but part of the contract is you have to take a leap of faith. Can you talk about any time in your life where you had to take a leap of faith and then it paid off?
Oh, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. I remember my first leap of faith was I just graduated from high school and I wanted to come to the United States, but I didn't have a visa. You have to have a specific, it's called B1 visa. I didn't have a visa. And so because I knew about, if I come to the United States, I can buy stuff here and come back to Jamaica and sell it and make a bunch of money and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I didn't have a visa. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the Caribbean islands. I went to Cayman, I went to Curacao, I went to all of the Caribbean islands around Jamaica. And I bought stuff and I came here and stuff. I came back to Jamaica and sell it, 20%, 30%, whatever profit. But the leap of faith was my desire was to come to USA. And I didn't know how to do it. So I decided, okay, let me just do step. Your manifestation does not come all at once. It comes in sequences, come in stages. So I had to go through small islands first before I could come to the United States. So look at the big picture. Look at the big picture you desire. And take whatever silent voice there is, very soft. Take those actions because those actions want to take you to where you want to be. And the more aligned you are, is the fastest way to get to you.
So real quick, can you just break down? So you, right, you said you wanted to, I guess, buy stuff in the States, bring it back to Jamaica and then profit, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay. But instead you're like, okay, right now I can't do that. So I'm gonna do it in other ways. I'm gonna go to the Caribbean and bring it back here. So how did that allow you to then make that transition to go from Jamaica to the United States?
So because of that, my bank account became very big. And when I applied for my B1 visa, one of the criteria were to see if I was going to run away to come to the United States and go back. Because I had a business back home and I had a high bank account amount. They said, oh, no, she's not going to run away. She's coming. She have a business running here. She's coming back. She have money here. She have property. She had a property there. So that would allow. That gave me the the way to get a visa to come to the United States. So when I came to the United States, I bought a property down south, and it was, back and forth developing clientele here in United States. And then so it's as I say, it's, you just have to follow your heart. Write your heart desires down. Make it very clear what you really, really desire. Because if you desire, it already exists. And just take those steps. Sometimes the steps is grand. Sometimes they're babies, like a sequence to where you desire. And never give up. Never thought, oh, not going to happen. Never put that thought in. It's going to happen. Sometimes it happens faster. Sometimes it happens slow. It's going to happen because it already exists.
Yeah, I had to ask because through my experience too, there were a couple of times where I just went for it. And everybody else was like, "You're crazy! Like, what is going on?" But it worked out. It ended up working out like beautifully, actually. And it's a really beautiful experience to take that leap of faith and then have it follow through. But let's talk about the opposite end, because I know some people have had this experience where you take a leap of faith and it doesn't work out the way that you think. Have you had any of those experiences?
Oh yeah,
Like
I
what
did.
happened? And
I did. I have my accounts here, which is with Edward Jones. It's they do investments and stuff like that. And then a guy came to me and he told me about this other guy who was getting higher interest rate and blah blah blah. And if I invest this amount of money, whatever, I did. Flopped. I lost all my money that I invested. I lost all of it. It was a big shock. Mm-hmm. So I was devastated because I'm a single mom. But how I look at it now is it was a poor judgment on my side because I did not, because when I was going in, I had reservations. And that's a negative way. So if you're going hoping wishing and saying, I hope I don't lose my money, that's gonna happen. That's what I found out now. Whenever you're doing something, you have to go in feeling good about it, have a positive outcome about it, because whatever you think about, you're going to bring about. And I was going in worrying, thinking, oh, I'm going to lose it. I hope I don't. And that's what happened.
That's a good point, though. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry that happened. And unfortunately, a lot of people have similar stories going into investment. And I think now it's changed with the technology. You can do robo investing. I don't know if you know about you can do just passive investing where you don't make as much of a increase in a short amount of time, but in a long amount of time, you will still make that profit that you need to. But I've just heard that story so many times. And actually I had a friend who worked in finance under a financial advisor, and she was like, don't do trading, don't do swing trading. You're going to lose money. She's like, she even didn't really believe in it. But I think it's part of that is, I think the best way to do it is to, I think what I've been recommended is the first year or two, maybe even first 3 years, do small amounts so you can figure it out, and then you can do the big amounts later. But anyway, but that's a good point that you made though, right? Your mindset going into it was like, I don't know about this. What if I lose everything? What if this happens? And I'm guessing that's what you focused on, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's just a really good thing to keep in mind whenever you're intending to take a leap of faith. You got to make sure that mindset is on point. Okay.
Exactly.
If there was anything you could tell yourself back then to help you with that mindset shift, what would you say to her?
Well, then I didn't know anything about manifestation. I was just going with the floor. Anybody tell me anything? Okay, let me do this. Let me do that. I didn't know who I am, and what I really desire and what I need to do to get my desires. So I would say don't beat yourself up. Is what you go through, you learn. What you go through, you learn in, so, or you grow through it. So don't beat yourself up. Just take it as a point to learn. What did you learn from it? What can I do different? How should I think? Just take it as a point to learn. Don't beat yourself up.
Okay. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, everybody makes mistakes. That's the other thing.
Yep.
Everybody makes mistakes. And it's funny too, because like, yeah, like you look back and maybe it is still a big amount to you at this point. But in my experience, when I do look back at some of the financial mistakes I've made, I'd be like, girl, that was nothing. Like it's like, you know what I mean? When you finally level up, you're like, girl, why were we worried about this? Why were we worried about this small amount, So it's really important to keep that into perspective. That's like, it's a really good perspective to have. So when it comes to, manifesting as a mother, what would you really, or what would one of the biggest lessons you learned manifesting, but then also having another child to take care of?
This farm isn't just any farm. It grows for Juice Plus. Juice Plus is farm-to-capsule nutrition made from 30 different non-GMO fruits, vegetables, and berries. Harvested at peak goodness to make nutrient-rich plant powders in convenient capsules. Clinically proven for over 20 years to support your wellness. It makes it easy to help bridge the gap between what you should eat and do eat. Fruits and vegetables are always on the table with Juice Plus. Juice Plus. Goodness is our natural state.
What I found out through my journey is that, I was operating more on a masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to work, I have to work, I have to provide, or I have to take care. I wasn't allowing and letting go and let everything come in. So I was forcing. Forcing. So being a single mom, I worked 7 days a week. I worked like 3 jobs. I didn't even really see my daughter. It was just like masculine, do. And now I'm a grandma. I'm telling her not to do that because she's like doing what I was doing now. I'm like, don't do that, Drew. Don't do that. Because even today, we FaceTime and the kids are home because it's a holiday weekend, and she would, I don't want to do this. Please don't shout after them. Don't shout, and do not say what they're doing. Say what you desire. I said, say to her, Nori, why don't you share your food with whatever or offer it and let her find out if she don't want it or not, instead of saying, why can't you do this? Because it's you're shouting at one point and you're saying a statement that's negative. And the statement that's negative is going to bring back more negative. Say what you desire in everything.
When you want something, when you want your children to change, right? You want to intend for that thing to happen. Speak it out loud. I love that. Don't
speak it out.
Yeah, exactly. Like don't complain about what they're doing. Complain about what you want them to do. Complain about how you want them to change. And sometimes those changes will become instant. And also, when if children are doing stuff that are making you angry too or making you upset, 9 times out of 10 it's not personal. It's like, that's the other thing, you really have to give your kids the benefit of the doubt. I say give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but that's me. And that's like a lesson within itself, but when you do that, it allows you to I don't want to say be the mother that they need, but it allows you to kind of give them space to make mistakes. I think that's the other thing people don't realize about kids is that they're kids, they're learning, and You know, just as much, you know, when you have to think back when we were kids, like sometimes, you know, some of us, even as adults, it takes us like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times before we realize the mistake, you know, that we're like, oh, that's why that kept on happening. Let me change the way they like think about it from a kid's perspective. It's like, okay, it's gonna take them a couple of tries, like not even a couple, it's gonna take them, you know, more than like probably 10 times to kind of reprogram their mind, right? But that's really beautiful that you said that to your daughter, because it's like, you know, she can really now empower herself as a mom to start to intend for things to happen in her life that's gonna make her life easier and her job as a mother easier. So that's really beautiful. Thank you. So when it comes to motherhood and you know, being an entrepreneur, being a single mom, having all of these people basically throw weights on your shoulders, what were one of some of the ways that you were able to kind of take those weights off?
I stop what I'm doing and do what I need to do. I don't bring work at home. My husband comes home and talking about work. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Leave it at the door. I don't want to hear it. I don't bring work at home because I have customers at my work. I don't talk about it at home. I don't want it. My home is a sacred place to have fun, to entertain, to have family over. That's what my home is. I don't bring work at home. So for me to take off different, I categorize them in different areas or time slots. And when those time come or eras, I just drop them off one by one.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. How do you see yourself expanding from here?
My husband's a builder. I manifested my husband. So he's a builder and we build homes here in Stewart. But my dream is I want to build like a building complex of 30 or more for single parents, men or women, with their children, fabulous modern looking homes, address the problems that a single parent has, like babysitting, strong personality. And I know some single parent doesn't have my person. I was like, I'm gonna find a way, you know. But some people are so overwhelmed with everything, kids and stuff like that. Just don't be bothered. So I
Mhm.
want to address those problems that single parents have. Have more homes or communities of single parents and addressing problems that single parents with challenging have.
I love that. That's beautiful. And I can really see that too, because it's needed, you know, it is a challenge to be a single parent, or it can be a challenge, but when you're given the right tools, you can really start to manifest the life of ease that I think everybody really deserves, you know. So before we go, of course, you know, like I asked all my guests, I asked them for freebies. So what are some of the freebies that you can give our audience today?
I would like to offer my free analysis in your wellness and your image and your lifestyle. Just a link you just fill out and then get with you and see where you're at, where you want to go
Perfect.
from there.
Yep, there you go. And it's unlimited. So those of y'all listening in the future, you can still hit her up. The will be in the show notes below. And I just want to thank you one more time, Jackie, for being here and being on the show today. I had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time interviewing you, and just I love your wealth of knowledge. I really appreciate you coming onto the platform today, sharing your wealth of knowledge to hundreds and thousands of our audience listeners who are also kind of struggling through the same things that you had struggled through in the past. And now, you know, you're here at this moment where you are really embracing success and then expanding, you know, your definition of success to really help other people. So that's really beautiful. And I'm just so thankful for you to be on the show to share your story. So thank you so much. Okay, I'll see you later. I love you all so much. See you next week. Peace.